right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power. I hope you guys had a great holiday with your friends and family. Now, as the year is wrapping up here, I wanted to do kind of a preview of next year's Mr. Olympia because we have the current competitor, the qualified competitor list for both the male and female 2020 Miss Olympia. So more importantly, the big story in 2020 is that the Miss Olympia will return to the Olympia stage after it's been gone for so long. And by Miss Olympia, I'm referring specifically to female bodybuilding, not figure, bikini, or physique, but female bodybuilding has come back in 2020. So that's what I wanted to focus on in this video. In the beginning of this video, at least, we're going to get to Men's Open and Classic as well. But the competitor list, the qualified competitor list for the female Olympia has finally come out. So we have an idea of what we're going to see at this first ever return of the Miss Olympia. So posted on the Wings of Strength Instagram page, and Wings of Strength is the company that is working in conjunction with the Olympia to bring back the Miss Olympia. They posted the current qualified competitor standing. So as of right now, you have Hel Trevino, Margie Martin, Irene Anderson, Nikki Chartland, Monique Jones, Monia Giosia. And now in the point standings, you have everybody's favorite female bodybuilder, apparently, Natalia Kuznetskova. And then you have Claudia Partenza, Alenda Hatvani, and Alina Oana Hripka from Romania. So I think it's going to be an interesting Miss Olympia. I think a lot of people want to see Natalia Kuznetskova on that Olympia stage. I think she's one of the more impressive, from a size standpoint, female bodybuilding competitors. Her conditioning at the past couple shows she's done hasn't been that tremendous. However, if you're talking about female bodybuilding and you're talking about that wow factor, I think Natalia is really the girl that's going to make it kind of exciting on the Olympia stage to see the Miss Olympia come back. I think a lot of people kind of think of Natalia as the big Rami of female bodybuilding. She's very impressive. She's very large, and conditioning is really the only thing that she's consistently kind of missing from the competitions that I've seen of her, at least. And right now, she is leading the point standings. There's not a lot of other girls in the point standings, so you're probably going to see Natalia at the Miss Olympia competition in 2020, and I'm kind of excited for that. And as always, the Miss Olympia is going to be kind of a controversial subject as far as female bodybuilding is concerned. A lot of people love it, and a lot of people hate it. Some people don't want to see it come back. A lot of people are super excited to see it come back. And the way I feel about it is there are girls out there that want to pursue, the maximum extent of bodybuilding and putting muscle on their frame. And that's what the bodybuilding category is for females. And when they took that away, it also took away that outlet for these girls. So personally, thinking, putting myself in their shoes, I think I'm excited to see it come back because I know how excited they probably are to have the opportunity once again to step on the Olympia stage. So I'm in full support of it, and I'm very excited to see how it plays out at the 2020 Mr. Olympia. All right, so that being said, let's go ahead and get into Men's Open bodybuilding here. Again, we're very, very early in the qualification series for the 2020 Mr. Olympia, but we do have some qualified competitors. So you've got Brandon Curry, of course, he won the 2019 Mr. Olympia, William Bonac, Hadi Chupin, Dexter Jackson, Rolly Winkler, Phil Heath, Cedric McMillan, Nathan Diasha, and Juan Morel. Those bottom three there, Cedric, Nathan, and Juan, are the more recent to qualify by winning shows after the Olympia. The first couple names that I read obviously qualified for their placings in the 2019 Mr. Olympia. So in the point standings, you've got Lucas Osladil currently leading the point standings, Regan Grimes in second, and Andre Muzi in third. Now again, if you guys aren't familiar, how the point standings works is the top three in point standings will move on to the Mr. Olympia even if they don't win a show. So the point standings is for guys that want to rack up these points and maybe not win a show but consistently place in the top 2 or 3 at some of these medium to larger shows that exist in the IFBB. So that's what the point standings is for. And keep in mind here, these lists are going to change dramatically in the first several months of 2020 because you got the Arnold Classic coming up, and you're going to get a lot of new qualifications ideally from that 2020 Arnold Classic, and then the competitive season really kicks off. In the weeks following the Arnold, you're going to see a lot of new names added to this list, and that's going to be very exciting. But as of 2019 wrapping up, this is what your 2020 Olympia lineup is currently looking like. And I think one other interesting thing to point out here is you see Phil Heath and Dexter on this list. Now, if you've won the Olympia, you are qualified for life to compete at any future Mr. Olympia competition. So a noteworthy thing to point out here is that Sean Roden is not on the 2020 Olympia list as a qualified applicable competitor, which I think is interesting. We know he was banned from competing at the 2019 Mr. Olympia, but we didn't necessarily know if that was going to be something that extended to future Olympias pending the resolution of his case. But apparently it is, because he's not added to this list. So apparently as of right now, Sean Roden is not eligible for next year's Mr. Olympia, which I think is kind of interesting. Now, finally here, wrapping up the qualified competitors list, we have Classic Physique with the current deepest lineup of all these divisions that we've talked about so far. Qualified for the 2020 Classic Physique Olympia, you've got Ricky Moten, Chris Bumstead, your reigning defending Olympia champ, Ahmad, Ali Shamsgamar, Breon Ainsley, R.D. Caldwell. They misspelled his name there, but R.D. actually qualified by winning a natural Classic Physique show, that Ben Weider natural show up in Canada. So he will be a natural competitor at the Classic Physique Olympia. Danny Hester, a former Mr. Olympia champion. Danny Unen, Wesley Vissers, who some people said would never qualify for the Olympia again, proving a lot of people wrong by winning that show and qualifying. You got David Hoffman from Germany, Arash Rabar, Terrence Ruffin, who is one of the guys that I'm most excited to see compete here. Again, he's one of my favorite physiques. He's got great posing. He's got great lines. I'm really excited to see how Terrence does at this 2020 Olympia. Sammy Ganem, who qualified very recently, and Jose Maria Mete Berry, who also qualified very recently. I believe Sammy and Jose were the two most recent qualifications. I believe I talked about them a couple of videos ago. So that is the Classic Physique qualified competitor lineup. I hope you guys are getting excited for the 2020 Mr. Olympia. I know it seems like it's going to be a long time. It's going to be a while away, but it's going to come up a lot quicker than you guys realize. And we're going to see a lot of names added to this list in the early months of 2020. So as 2019 is wrapping up, this is what the Olympia looks like right now for 2020. Next on the books, obviously, we've got the 2020 Arnold Classic, which right now has one of the most stacked lineups, if not the most stacked lineup of all time in Arnold Classic history. And right now, the Arnold Classic lineup is looking more exciting than the 2020 Mr. Olympia lineup. So I'm very excited to meet you guys and see you guys there at the 2020 Arnold Classic. I will have my own booth there just to meet you guys. It's going to be next to the Redcon 1 booth. So make sure you guys get your tickets to the expo, get your tickets to the main show. And one more time, for the sake of this video, since it's a qualified competitors list for 2020 shows, I'll give you guys the qualified competitors list for the 2020 Arnold Classic one more time in case you missed a couple of videos that I've done on it so far. So qualified for the 2020 Arnold Classic, and again, this isn't necessarily a show you have to qualify for. It's more of an invitation-based list. So the Arnold Classic list is kind of a list that's curated by the promoters of guys that they want to see compete there. So you've got Lionel Bayecki, William Bonac, Max Charles, Big Ramy Elsbaye, Dexter Jackson, Johnny Jackson making his return to the competitive bodybuilding stage. A lot of people thought he was retired, including myself. Steve Kuklo, Jocelyn Nardowitz, Victor Martinez, a former Arnold Classic champion. He won the 2007 Arnold Classic, for those of you guys that might not remember. Cedric McMillan, also a former Arnold Classic champion, winning the 2017 Arnold Classic. Patrick Moore is one of the guys that I'm most excited to see compete here. I think he's got the most potential. I think he's one of the most underrated bodybuilders on this list, and I think he's going to do phenomenal at the 2020 Arnold Classic. My prediction is top 6 for Patrick Moore. I'll do a more in-depth prediction video on the Arnold as we get a little bit closer. Sergio Oliva Jr. I'm very excited to see Sergio compete here because of the history that goes into this. Obviously, Arnold Schwarzenegger himself went head-to-head on the Olympia stage with Sergio Oliva Sr., Sergio Oliva Jr.'s father, obviously. So to see Sergio Jr. competing in Arnold's show, I think is a very historic moment for bodybuilding, a very cool thing to see. I think Sergio is going to do very well in this lineup as well. Sergio is a great bodybuilder, and there's a lot of guys that I think he might be able to catch here in terms of conditioning. I think Sergio generally brings pretty good conditioning. We haven't seen him in a while, but I think he's going to do very, very well. Akeem Williams here as well, and also Rolly Winkler. For the past couple years, a lot of people have been saying Rolly Winkler should be winning the Arnold, but for whatever reason, he misses the mark at the Arnold, and he doesn't really place that well. He places towards the outside of the top 6 in recent years. So we're going to see how Rolly does in this lineup. But All in all, 2020 is shaping up to be an extremely exciting competitive bodybuilding year. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys had a great 2019. I'm going to be posting a 2019 wrap-up on my channel very, very soon, right before New Year's. So I hope you guys enjoyed the rest of your year. I hope you guys are looking forward to 2020. Please give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to this channel if you have not yet subscribed already. And as always, Nick Strength and Power, signing out.